I want to try and tie up some loose ends from my last video and give some hope to AMD users out there, even some of us that have NVIDIA. If you're experiencing crashes or flickering, stick around. But first off, I kind of implied but never explicitly stated why even have such a high FPS over your display's refresh rate. If you're constantly pushing your GPU to an extreme like I do, you're probably lowering your card's lifespan, like straight up. So why do I do it? Am I insane? Have I lost the plot? Yes, because this is probably what insanity looks like. Even at this tiny resolution, a single mission at 120 FPS takes up to 60 gigabytes. But then I slow it down and look at this. Isn't this kind of cool? I think it's pretty cool. Is it worth it? I don't know. Am I a data hoarder? Probably. But for regular gameplay, you don't need to go this high. Keep VSync on or cap your FPS. Your graphics card will thank you. I torture mine. Don't be like me. Moving along, huge shout out to user HunterAce for finding a potential fix for AMD cards. Apparently AMD cards handle DirectX 11 differently. So he found a project called Radeon DX Configurator. This acts as an all-in-one solution for reverting AMD's version of the DirectX 11 pipeline. He was able to fix the crashing to at least get in-game and start tinkering with ReShade. If this is looking kinda sus, I get it. Not much activity here since 2023, but if you look into this, this is actually one of many options. This 2022 thread talks about doing these fixes manually, and this thread from last year talks about 2 additional fixes that have been helping a lot of people. Recent commenters mentioned another all-in-one program with similar fixes called Anwave. It seems this thing can tweak GPU drivers and a bunch of other stuff. It's also being regularly updated. So clearly a lot of people have tried tackling this. I mean, this whole thing is a rabbit hole. This project I started was a rabbit hole just to get slow motion into my edits, though I don't have an AMD card to test any of this. I can't vouch for the reliability of these fixes or drawbacks, so proceed with caution. Please make a comment if any of these fixes crashing, visual bugs, or both completely, and tell us what model of GPU you have.
The level is just too advanced, the bezel is Tiffany stamp, no grip on my hand. I know that I came with a slide from left to right, but now I don't want to dance. I got too much on the line, too much on my mind, too much ain't enough of my plans. Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it, they pay me to show you I do it again. I can't be telling my plans.
User Sears on Nexus Mods also mentioned an alternative for setting DirectX 11 that fixed his flickering. He has an NVIDIA GPU, so this may apply to everyone. For the launch option, he found a variation that adds DX11 space to the beginning of the command. If you can't get the first command to work, give this a shot. If all else fails and you still want just something, anything out of ReShade, I made a separate version, a restless version. This won't have the visual tweaks requiring rest, so no flat textures or simplified bump maps, but you still get Shader Toggler to disable clutter and extra particle effects. No rest means you don't need DirectX 11, so make sure to remove that launch option. A lot of people have also requested keeping shadows on, so I made a separate version of the Shader Toggler config and another reference version of the user settings config, with all the shadow and light properties enabled. I went through the file and toggled on anything to do with shadows or lights to keep it at the level of the game's lowest preset. If you want anything higher, you'll have to check each property. So now, lighting and shadows are enabled in the file, and while I'm here, I might as well show you how to use Shader Toggler. I'll also mention I updated the shader group names for more clarity. Admittedly, some shadows were confusingly grouped under particles, so I'm renaming this post-processing effects. Extra contains what I call clutter and anything decorative or without gameplay impact. Stuff like grass, small rocks, and the chain link mesh. Far is for most things on the horizon or anything in the sky, including the destroyers, Eagle 1, and planets. If you want to see this stuff, disable this group. Now, I want to re-enable the shadows that the config file doesn't handle. As far as I'm aware, there's a couple shaders for them. One shader is for big static meshes like this plateau here. Another shader is for smaller stuff like the player model. The add-on lists all its hotkeys under the info dropdown, which is numpad 1 through 9. These are hard-coded, so if you don't have a numpad, you'll have to use some sort of macro. Hit change shaders. We'll be using numpad 1 and 2 to step through all the pixel shaders. What I'm looking for is my target shader to disappear. That's how I know it's selected.
It's too fast! How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell.
Back!
Too late, I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Okay. For finding shaders already marked, I didn't even have to do this. Just hold Control plus the number to skip to marked shaders. Its marker is labeled in yellow, but I also know it's selected because it disappeared. So I'll hit 3 to toggle the mark. I'll do the same for the other shadows. Then just hit done and save all toggle groups at the bottom. A few miscellaneous things to finish this out. If you're happy with how ReShade looks but want to fine-tune it to get more performance out of it, check out the Statistics tab to see exactly how long it takes both your CPU and GPU to render each effect. This can vary between systems and different effects. Shader glass can be a little weird with the mouse sometimes. For one, you'll have to get used to seeing 2 cursors in menus. Just pay attention to the scaled one. You'll see as soon as the scaled cursor leaves the game, I'm just clicking outside the window. A bug that's more specific to Helldivers but seemingly more frequent when using shader glass is how the cursor can flicker at the center of the screen. When this happens, just open up the pause menu and close it. Rarely for me, the mouse won't show up at all. In that case, restart the program. Others have also mentioned switching screens for it to work properly. Alternatively, a lot of people have said that they have better luck with lossless scaling. This is a paid program for applying upscaling and frame gen to any window. For some, those features alone would make it a better substitute. Some people have said their HUD is too pixelated and unreadable. HUD scale should be the only setting you need to fix this. Just max it out to 1.25. At this scale, everything is plenty big. So big in fact that chat and mission objectives can overlap. Not a huge deal, but yeah, 1.25 is plenty. Lastly, HunterAce made his own retro audio mod, which would be a great addition to the HD99 playstyle. He bit crushed and retrofied almost all the game sound effects. Check it out. Links to his mod in the description, and thanks again, Hunter, for the tips. I'm going to try and keep up with bug reports, and I promise to write up everything onto the mod page. Next video, I'll do a deep dive on how I've used the REST add-on. There's so many aspects to it, but I'll do my best. I have a bunch of ideas for variation on this ReShade, but if anyone has suggestions, definitely post a comment. I'm curious what you guys can come up with.